Good evening. Great crowd tonight. Thanks for being so prompt, and thanks for showing up. And welcome to our second State of the Club meeting. Thanks for joining us in person. We're also going to tape this, and it'll be available on the website in the next couple of days. So also welcome to those of you who are watching this online. As a reminder, the objective of this meeting is to provide a second club-wide meeting in addition to our annual meeting in April, to communicate with members and of course to receive your feedback, suggestions, and questions. The agenda for today is, first I will highlight your board. So you turn the clicker on and then it goes. The agenda for today is I will first highlight your Board of Governors' priorities for the coming season, and then John Baker, the co-chair of the Finance Committee, will provide a very positive financial update. And then finally, Craig Whiting, chair of the Long Range Planning Committee, will give you an update on our Clubhouse renovation project, including the results of the surveys that we completed following our member sessions last April. And of course, we'll leave some time for questions and comments at the end. So let me start by saying that the Ocean Club begins the season in very good shape. We had a very good summer season with a lot of very good events over the summer and well attended. We made some very good hires, which I'll talk about a little later, in the food and beverage area. And we continue to make necessary investments in our clubhouse and tennis facilities, such as a new lift by the front door, which will hopefully always work, and a new deck at the tennis building. We also purchased additional umbrellas for the lawn and beach, so hopefully we'll have enough during our busiest season. And we've resealed and restriped the parking lot, as you've seen, and completed several other small projects. I hope you'll agree that the club and our grounds are in great shape as we start the season. Having said that, there are still some areas for the board to work on and areas that we're focused on improving. So here are the most important areas of the board we focused on this season. This is not an exhaustive list of what we're working on, of course. There are many other areas such as membership, tennis, buildings and grounds, social events, and others that are important and need to be managed well. But this is a list of specific areas of specific focus for the board. Let's walk through each of these tonight. First one is maintain a solid financial position. After a rough couple of years due to COVID, inflation, the impact of our pool project, and mold in the clubhouse, your club is in very good financial position. John will provide more details in a moment. The second priority is to enhance the member dining experience. With our finances in good shape, this is the most important area of focus this season. I think we made progress on this last season with Anthony finally having some consistency in his kitchen staff. And I'm pleased that the staffing situation this season looks even better and includes our new lunch chef, Philippe. If you haven't met Philippe, I encourage you to meet him. Terrific new menus. I've had lunch several times. If you haven't had lunch this season, I encourage you to go out and enjoy fabulous lunch. Some nice new entrees and some specials daily for lunch. So look forward to having Philippe make an impact, as he already has. Now keep in mind that Anthony and his team are working in a very substandard environment, both in terms of the size and layout of our kitchens and the distance to deliver food outside. If you took one of our kitchen tours last season, you can appreciate the daily challenge that Anthony and his team faces. In addition to delivering excellent food, we are focused on delivering consistently excellent service as well. And I think we're off to a good start this season. In September, we hired Jeff Nichols as Director of Food and Beverage. Jeff has a great background in the club and club operations in Florida, also in the hotel environment. He was the product of a nationwide search that we conducted starting in the spring and through the summer. And he's off to a terrific start. So if you haven't met Jeff, please introduce yourself. I'm sure be walking around tonight as we have dinner. And then last year, we had a lot of new faces on our wait staff, which was challenging to manage and also challenging for the membership. You'll notice, and I'm pleased to point out that we have a high percentage of returning staff from last year, and they'll be complemented by a few select good new hires. Finally, we provided our staff with thorough training sessions in October to prepare for the season. It's something that we haven't accomplished the last few years, and I think it's made a real difference so far, and it'll make a difference the balance of the year. Early returns have been good, and feedback has been positive, but it's going to be important to maintain this throughout the season. Please support Anthony, Jeff, and our entire food and beverage team by dining frequently at the club, and of course, and I know you will, provide your feedback. That's not supposed to be funny. Number 3 priority is to develop a member proposal for the Clubhouse renovation project. Craig will cover that after John gives the financial update. Number 4 on the list is to increase summer membership. After suspending our summer membership program during COVID and the pool project, we restarted the program in 2023 with over 30 summer members. This past summer, we had about the same number, short of our goal of increasing the number to 60. This season, we're going to make a concerted effort throughout the season to increase the number of summer members for 2025. But we'll need your help to identify and sponsor high-quality individuals and families for membership. As I've come to appreciate in my time on the board, the summer membership program is important to the Ocean Club. Higher summer membership levels enable the club to have more activities over the summer, which is good for our regular members who spend their summers locally, and also good for our staff, as we can provide more opportunity for them to work at the Ocean Club over the summer. Please help us build a more robust summer membership. If you have questions or candidates, please contact Greg Zink. While I'm on the topic of membership, let me make a couple of comments about regular membership. As you heard at the annual meeting from Susie back in April, we welcomed 31 new regular members last season, after higher than normal turnover the prior year. Fortunately, our turnover so far this season is much lower, and we have an ample pipeline of prospective members to keep our membership at the 450 cap. Susie and her committee have done a terrific job of handling such a healthy flow of new members while maintaining our high standards for membership. Of course, we are dependent upon all of you to recommend high-quality new members. If you have a prospective member or want to introduce somebody to the Ocean Club, please contact Susie or Melissa to get the process started. Our final objective is to continue to communicate openly with the membership and to be open to your feedback. I think that we accomplished that last season. I hope you agree, and hopefully we'll accomplish it again this season. So with that, I'll turn over to John to provide a financial update, followed by Craig and an update on our Clubhouse project.
Good evening, everyone. Hope that's loud. I'm John Baker, and it's great to be with you all tonight. Before I get into the financial update, I'd like to thank my predecessor, Larry Ritter, who's here with us over there tonight. Larry did a lot for this club, and he really did a phenomenal job in ensuring the financial well-being of the club. He also had an amazing way of making really complicated financial topics sound simple and lighthearted. And I just wanted to thank you, Larry, for doing such a great job for the Ocean Club. As co-chair of the Finance Committee, I'm pleased to deliver great financial news tonight. The club is in really good financial shape. The financial health of the club, on a high level, is measured in 2 different ways: the operating side and the capital side. On the operating side, our main sources of revenue are the annual dues and food and beverage sales. The goal is for the dues to fully cover the operational costs of running the club, and our goal is to break even. Our fiscal year, which is our financial year, runs from May 1st through April 30th. We finished fiscal year 2024, ending this past April, in very good financial shape, with a slight profit before depreciation as compared to losses in the 2 previous years, which is great. Our total operating revenue is around $6 million. This is just the operating side. So this is a large operation with many moving parts. Joe and his team really do a great job in controlling expenses in this inflationary environment, so I wanted to thank Joe. Every year, our financial statements are audited by an independent auditing firm. We completed our fiscal year 2024 audit over the summer, and I'm pleased to announce that we received a clean audit opinion without any recommendations from the auditors, which is great. We will send out a summary of our 2024 financial performance in the coming weeks, including the audit. This is all very good news, and I would like to thank Diane Pye, our controller. She works hard in the background and has really worked hard in executing on this audit. It's been a challenge in the past. Fiscal year 2025 is off to a great start, and through October, we are running at $191,000 net profit before depreciation. This positions us very well as we enter the busy season. So that was the operating side. On the capital side, our main sources of revenue are capital dues and initiation fees. The goal is for the capital dues to cover our annual capital expenditures, which are around $500,000 a year. They also go towards paying down the debt on the pool project, on which we still owe about $3 million, but at a very low interest rate. The timing was good. Our capital dues currently are sufficient to cover both of these items, which is great. Initiation fees will be used for what are called aspirational capital expenditures, such as the upcoming Clubhouse project. We currently have $3.5 million in our capital account and expect it to increase over the year as we admit new members. This balance is compared to a $2.6 million balance last year at this time, so we've grown it substantially. In short, the Ocean Club is in very good financial position and has a solid foundation on which to maintain our beautiful facility and enable enhancements in the future. Thank you. Hope you have a wonderful evening, and I'd like to ask Craig Whiting to come up to talk about the Clubhouse project. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, John. Let's begin with a review of the progress that's been made since we kicked off the facilities master planning process back in the early spring of 2023. We'll then review the results of the member surveys that you completed last spring after the Peacock and Lewis presentations of the good, better, and best clubhouse renovation options. I'll bring you up to date on important recent developments regarding the condominium development and their implications for the timing of our project. And lastly, we'll take a peek at some revisions that have been made over the summer and into this fall on the new clubhouse plan. Reviewing where we've been over the last 18 or so months, after retaining professional firms, the engineers assessed our building and we reported those results to you last year. Members of the Long Range Planning Committee visited peer clubs and worked with Peacock and Lewis to develop project goals and program objectives for a renovated clubhouse. The goals and objectives informed Peacock and Lewis's development of good, better, and best renovation concepts for consideration by the Long Range Planning Committee, the board, and you as members. Recall some of those key objectives were to renovate the kitchens, provide a gathering bar with in-bar dining, and have an outdoor covered terrace dining opportunity, among many others. The strategic goal was to end up with improved quality and consistency of food service, much greater member usage of indoor dining, a clubhouse that would be competitive with peers and attractive to new members, and provide competitive workplace conditions for our employees, all while maintaining an old Florida feel. Next were agreements with Edwards Company. As you know, concurrent with our planning for a renovation, the contiguous property to our north was being redeveloped. Led by Bruce Warwick and approved by the board, critically important agreements were negotiated with Edwards Company as part of their development application. And the agreements included an easement between our two properties, providing us access to the rear of our property, critical. An improved parking lot easement in our front, a 2,000 square foot fitness facility built by Edwards for the benefit of Ocean Club members and operated by the Ocean Club. And lastly, a unity of control agreement providing mutual waiver of property line setbacks that facilitate room for the fitness center and the rebuilding of our clubhouse on substantially the same footprint as our existing clubhouse. Additional progress included member clubhouse tours and focus groups. Over 220 members took a tour, and a majority participated in focus groups in which we tested the key objectives to be achieved in a renovated clubhouse. We also made encouraging progress on project financing. Club Benchmarking, a consulting firm that has been working with many area clubs and others around the country, completed a capital reserve study that was very helpful in understanding the future capital requirements of our existing clubhouse and pro forma capital requirements for our good, better, and best renovation options. Club Benchmarking also provided a computer financing model that has been invaluable to a subcommittee of the Finance Committee that is looking at project financing options. That subcommittee has also had positive meetings with financing sources, and we have 4 banks that are very interested in financing the project on terms that are quite favorable. Of course, it is still very early days, and we don't yet have specifics, the specifics we need in order to get firm proposals. And finally, last spring, Peacock and Lewis, assisted by Alan and Larry Ritter, presented the good, better, and best options to 265 members in 13 presentations over 2 weeks. Many more members watched the presentation online in the weeks after the in-person presentations. 239 members completed surveys, and I will take some time to present highlights of those surveys results in a moment. And finally, after the spring presentations and driven by the survey results, over the summer, the Long Range Planning Committee spent considerable time refining the new clubhouse design. Before I present survey results, I want to briefly summarize the good, better, best options that were presented last spring and that were the basis for the surveys that so many of you completed. You may find it helpful when I show the survey results. The 3 renovation options deliver progressively more of our objectives at progressively higher cost and project scope. As a quick reminder of what you saw in the presentations last spring, all of the options include new kitchens, but only the new clubhouse option addresses the low ceiling limitation of the pool level kitchen below us that so many of you saw in the kitchen tours, in the clubhouse tours. The good option is a minor renovation designed to not trigger building code upgrade requirements. It has a lovely new gathering bar and is the least costly, but accomplishes the fewest overall program objectives. The better option, you'll recall, is a major renovation that builds a new section of the clubhouse and accomplishes more objectives, including covered outdoor terrace dining. The best, or new clubhouse option, accomplishes all objectives, including a new grade level parking lot. It is the most expensive option. I will now show the results of 3 survey questions which asked the extent to which you agreed that each of the options accomplished a particular renovation objective that we set out to achieve. I'd actually first like to mention and thank Mitch Engel for leading a subcommittee which designed this survey, bringing to bear his many years of expertise and experience in designing a survey. So thank you, Mitch. So in this first question, we asked, would the option entice you to dine inside the clubhouse more often was one of our key objectives. I'm going to focus your attention on the teal colored slices in the pie chart. I thought it was green, I'm told it was teal. So for the good option, 7% of survey responses completely agreed that it would entice them to dine inside more often. For the better option, 16% completely agreed. For the best or new clubhouse option, 70% completely agreed. Here we ask the question, if the options would appeal to potential new members, another important objective of a renovation. 9% completely agreed that the good option would appeal to potential new members. 17% completely agreed the better option would, and 80% completely agreed the new clubhouse would. In this third question, we ask a broad question about the extent to which you agree that each option would overall improve your experience at the Ocean Club. 18% completely agreed that the good option would improve their experience at the club. 21% completely agreed the better option would, while 81% completely agreed the best option would. Takeaway, pretty obviously, the results clearly demonstrated member agreement that the new clubhouse option accomplished those renovation options. For the good option, an observation. If you add up the completely agree and somewhat agree slices of the pie, they did not reach 50% for any of the three questions. And that indicates pretty clearly that survey respondents don't believe the good option accomplishes any of those key renovation objectives. So we also asked in that survey, gave the opportunity for qualitative comments. We don't report them here, obviously. And in reading through those qualitative survey results, the comments were overwhelmingly in favor of the new clubhouse option. Now, there are important caveats here. The survey did not ask for a vote on the options, did not ask for a vote. We asked for input on the objectives of the renovation options. And of course, most importantly, we don't yet have the very important project costs, and more importantly, proposed per member cost of any of the options or a new clubhouse. And we had hoped to have had more information on that front for you this evening, but I will explain in a moment why that has been delayed. So the takeaways. So what are the key takeaways from the surveys and the progress that we have made over the last 18 or so months? Based on the efforts of our professional advisors, the Long Range Planning Committee, a finance subcommittee, and your input as members, your Board of Governors at this point believes that pursuing the new clubhouse option is in the best interest of the membership, and that is now our focus. So that's good news. There's recent developments, which is less good news. At last year's State of the Club update on the clubhouse renovation, we reported that we thought the condominium developer would be breaking ground as early as the summer of 2024, last summer. Well, that did not happen. And it has significantly impacted the timing of our plans for the Ocean Club. Edwards Company didn't file their development application, which includes the agreements with the Ocean Club, until May of 2024, and the application is in a review process with the town of Ocean Ridge. Approval of the Ocean Club agreements with Edwards is critical to our clubhouse development plans. The next phase for us is moving to what is called design and development, which will enable contractor estimating project cost and our finance team to work with banks on financing proposals, which enable us to come to you with very specific proposals as to what the project would cost on a per member basis. But the design and development phase is relatively expensive, and we think it would not be prudent to spend member funds, your money, until we have approval of the agreements with Edwards. So we will wait patiently. But it looks less likely that we will have a proposal for you to vote on before the end of this season, as a result of it taking longer for approval of the Edwards application. Now, while I think that news is a little disappointing, I'd like to end on a positive note by sharing with you what we think are some exciting improvements to the new clubhouse design that we worked on over the course of the summer and into this fall. Alan, can we zoom in on that? So let me summarize for you some revisions that were made to the new clubhouse design relative to what you all saw last spring that was proposed to you from Peacock and Lewis. I would direct your attention to the bottom of the screen, in the middle, to the entry lobby. But I'll summarize briefly all of the changes that I will tell you about in a moment. The entry lobby is now an open two-story area with an elevator in the lobby, which was previously located in the breezeway. We have created a basement which now contains the maintenance area, pool equipment, and laundry, which facilitated larger locker rooms, which was one of the comments that we received from quite a number of members, that we needed larger locker room areas. There are exits from the locker rooms on the north side of the building for easier access to the fitness facility, which will be in the condominium building to our north. And there is a lovely new library just off of the lounge behind the lounge of the gathering bar on the main floor, which I will show you in a moment. So, directing your attention to the bottom of the screen on either side, members will enter the club from the new on-grade parking lot either by an open breezeway to access the pool area or through a more formal entry into an air-conditioned two-story entry lobby, which has an elevator, a receptionist, and a stairway walking up to the main floor. The entry lobby will have a beautiful view through to the pool and ocean, either through a picture window or a doorway to be determined. As you can see, you walk in here, it's an open two-story area. There's a stairwell, a elevator here. The elevator in the last plan was over on this side in the unair-conditioned breezeway. And if you're going to the pool, the casual side, you walk here, over, and across. As you walk down, as you walk down the breezeway to the pool, the Pelican shop is on your right, and entry to the locker rooms is on your left. Each locker room has a north exit to access the fitness facility, as well as a sitting area outside the massage room. The old plan had 2 massage rooms. The thinking at this point is that we don't need 2 massage rooms. And the concept is that there is now a sitting area outside, and there is one massage room, and exits outside, men's and ladies' locker room, where you would men exit outside and go across to the fitness facility in the condo area. So in the interest of time, I'll move on. There have been no changes to the kitchen area on the south side, except that the Pelican shop has been relocated to that side. On the main floor, as you arrive, members arrive at the top of the stairs to a lovely view through the dining room to the ocean. And as you can see here, behind the lounge is a lovely new library. And which we think may serve several functions, including as a second, smaller private dining opportunity. That was a comment that many members made, that the boardroom that is a large private dining opportunity, many members said we'd like to have a smaller private dining, more intimate dining opportunity as well. And that room could also possibly be a place for brief business as a business room during the day. We have this, one of the objectives in beach clubs today is we want people to stay here during the day. And if you have to have a business call and you're down on the beach, we want to have a place where you can go and make that business call and stay at the Ocean Club instead of having to leave. And maybe this is a place where you'll be able to do that. And the next slide I'm going to show you is an elevation, which depicts this entry. Now I want a caveat here. This is a draft elevation looking at the front of the club from A1A. You see the porte cochere with the main entrance to the new two-story lobby in blue doors and the open breezeway on your left. I would caution that this is in no way a final look at the proposed clubhouse style. It's just a draft. I show this so that you can see, though, the porte cochere with the more formal entry in the middle and the casual entry to the pool on the left side. And this is the latest concept. Again, it's all open for comment. It's all open for your input. Nothing is cast in stone, but we wanted to show you that. And the Long Range Planning Committee and the board were both very supportive and excited about these changes, particularly the idea of having a two-story entrance. And we thank Bruce Warwick, who was the strong proponent of making that change. So that's where we. Oops, sorry. That's where we stand. We are eager to move forward with this important project for the future, but important items of timing are out of our control. But we expect will be resolved this season, and we will, of course, keep you up to date. That concludes my presentation, and I'll now turn it over to Alan for some closing comments.
Thanks, Greg. Greg has put in enormous time on this over the summer, as has Bruce. To manage a project like that well, you have to have passion for it, for the process, and Greg has passion for the process in a very good way. Just to close, I want to thank Joe and his staff, Anthony and Stephen, for all of their hard work over the summer and preparing the club for the season. As John mentioned, this is a large operation. It's complicated. It's a lot of twists and turns, not to mention managing the weather in South Florida, which you never know what you're going to be dealt with, and I think Joe and his staff do a terrific job, so I want to thank them. I also want to welcome Jeff and Philippe, and hopefully you'll get to meet both of them, and look forward to their contributions to the upcoming season. I'd also like to thank my fellow governors for all their extra effort to shepherd the club in a very responsible way. There's a lot of work that goes into it, as those of you who have been on the board know. And this is a great group. People, they all work hard. We all get along, I think. But it's a very good group to work with, and I want to thank you. I also want to thank the spouses and partners of the governors for their support. Particularly, I want to thank my wife, Jennifer. She told me, do not thank me. But she's not here, so I want to thank Jennifer. So you can tell her. She'll watch it online. She's not going to be happy. So as Craig said, on the biggest thing here in terms of the Clubhouse project, I'm glad to hear the applause for the new concept. The board is overwhelmingly in support of doing that. As Craig said, we don't have the costs, but we do feel we'll build capital. As John said, through initiation fees and a good flow of new members, and we have eager banks to lend us money on a longer-term basis, which will spread the cost out over a longer period of time. So we think we can do it, depending on what the cost. We think we can do it in a reasonable way. But we're going to do this methodically. We're going to take our time. We're not going to spend money to get ahead of it. We want to make sure that if we're going to spend a decent amount of your money, that it's going to go towards the project, and we're not going to have to kind of reboot. So appreciate your patience. We're certainly eager to go forward as fast as we can. And lastly, I want to thank all of you. I want to thank the members for your support. And great turnout tonight. I think this is even bigger than last year. And hopefully most of you are staying for dinner. And at